deep inside yourself and experience that infinite in time and space, infinite in energy, a connection with all that is. I'll take you through the countryside, which is green and lush and summery, to a cave. They're places of ancestor worship. They exist in our landscape now. And to return there in imagination and in memory is almost as strong an experience, and sometimes it's as strong an experience as actually being in those places. But the energies of the land there, they were put there for very good reason. The land energies are incredible. They're purposeful places of sacred worship. I'm talking about long barrows, passage graves, places where artificial caves were made. Particular areas in them are for particular purposes, and they might be for male or female initiation, or for psychiatric health, or for birthing, or for rebirthing, for shamanic travelling, all sorts of things. But they're healing places. They're solid. They're made of massive rock. But if you sound in them, if you go in with an intention of going through to the other side, you will. You get a sense of the rock absolutely dissolving, and the space in atoms is infinite. There is more space than stuff in material things. We're talking atomic structure, macrocosm, microcosm. You can move through these atoms. What we need to do is to get into a slightly altered state, and what we need to do is to journey inwards. At the same time you journey inwards, you're removing the protective barriers from you, and you're pushing your aura, you're pushing your energy out into time and space. And as you do that, your aura, your subtle body can overlap with others, and you learn things telepathically. That's how I think these things happen. That's how I know these things happen. I'll recreate that sensation that the enclosed space moves away, becomes huge, becomes infinite, and you're left floating on a sea, and you can journey, and you can bring those ancestral beings closer to you, ask them to come to you, ask your guides to come to you. You set out with that intention, and they will come. I will add sound, and these sounds will help you experience the journey in the imagination, help you to alter your brain wave pattern so that you're in a more dreamlike state, more receptive state. But I'm not sitting in the country where it's all nice and silent. I'm actually in a house, in a town. So you may hear some urban activity outside. Just let that wash over you, just the same as you let all the other sounds wash over you. Find yourself a comfortable space, lie down. Maybe you have a candle lit and maybe you have some incense burning. But make yourself comfortable, make sure you're warm and safe, and maybe have a drink nearby so that you can grab that at the end. You may feel thirsty. So if you're comfortable, imagine first of all that you're in the English countryside. It's summery, it's green, it's light and breezy. There's a road ahead of you, you're standing on a tarmac road, and there's no traffic, it's just you. But the road takes you up over the brow of a small hill. So you walk up, and you crest the hill, and the land opens up before you. It's a bowl shape, a cauldron shape, a dish in the land, surrounded by a ring of gently rounded hills. The landscape is green, small fields, grazing fields, nestling down in this roundy valley. speckled with a few woods. It's just countryside, slightly hilly on the outside, but you're headed downhill. And you soon reach a point in the road, and not far off to your right, just in the field to your right, rising up, is a sacred mound. It's a distinctive, perfect cone shape, and you can see pathways spiralling around it. And it rises higher than the surrounding circle of the hills. It cuts the horizon. You can't see anything beyond these hills now. You're just in this valley, secluded, safe. Beyond that mound you can see a tightly clustered village, old houses, a few trees, a few gardens, the church tower, different roofs. Somewhere that you know people live, somewhere that looks safe and inviting. But you turn your back on the place that you know that there's certain to be people. You turn your back on the sacred mound and you follow the well-worn path across the field that was on your left. The daisies make a field into a carpet of stars, and the skylarks are singing their beautiful, heart-bursting song high up in the blue sky. The warm scent of hay fills your nose as you brush your way through the flower-filled meadow. The scents and the sounds of summer all around you. You can hear crickets, see butterflies, hear the skylark, smell the hay and the chamomile. This field boundary is marked by a fast-running brook. You've reached the edge of it. The line is darker green, and off to your right this leads into the silvery, feathery, twinkling willow copse. The watercress, the iris, the thistle and the rush has merged into scrubby willows. This small, lush, low-lying copse is where Mother Earth breathes life into the land and where the water bubbles up from below ground. You can see the tremulous movement of the leaves that are disturbed by the light summer breeze. And you notice, quite near you, shiny green and blue damselflies flitting from reed to reed. Just here you've reached a small bridge. It's right in front of you. It's easy for you to cross this river. And you cross. As you reach the other bank, you put your left hand out and you touch and greet and steady yourself on this huge old oak tree that stands as guardian to the next parcel of land. Both feet safely on this side now. There's a different feel to this land energy. And you pause. You take a moment to lean your back into the guardian, your back into the old one. And as you lean back, you sense the roughness. You feel it supporting you. As you lean back, you look ahead and you take in the downland, sloping gently uphill, and the path worn so that the white chalk shows up where so many other people have walked before. And as you sink back, supported by the oak, you send your mind out to meet it and greet the spirit of the tree, and you become aware of the dark blue that it allows you to see. You might sense purple, but you sense tightness bursting through your forehead, your third eye. Your minds merge. You sense its enormous age and its patient wisdom. It recognises and acknowledges your purpose. You receive its blessing. While here, you feel its solidity and you sense its groundedness and its pull down to the centre of Mother Earth. You may wish to ask any guides or any personal guardians, any teachers you have, to come closer. You take a few moments in the company of this wise old tree to reach out and to ask your guides to come and accompany you for the next part of your journey. Say thank you to the tree for the bond of friendship it's given, and you move on with your task. Your purpose is to meet your ancestors. Your purpose is to meet your guides and your teachers, to ask them what it is they've come to teach you. You stride uphill eagerly, following that white path, and you notice the smaller grasses, close cropped by sheep and rabbits. You hear the grasshoppers and the hum of the bees working the dainty flowers near to the ground. Little dots of colour. You may be aware of other energies, some other presence around you. Your guides and companions may be familiar, or they may be new to you in this life. Just notice they're there and accept their company with an open heart. Your eyes are fixed on the place up ahead that you've been aiming for. There's a long mound. It's not so high as a house, but it fills your view, crossing your path at the top of this little hill, tailing off to the right. At this nearer, the wider end, there's massive stones and they form an entrance lobby, a doorway to a dark passage, just wide enough for one person to walk down. As you stand there, hesitating a little, the swallow dives into the blackness of the passage mouth, passing your head so close you feel its feathers brush you. Startled, but amused, you step bravely in. Counting the steps, lightly touching the huge stones with your outstretched arms, keeping yourself in the middle of the passage as your eyes become accustomed to the dark. 4 steps, and the walls disappear. Another step, and they're there beneath your fingers again. 3 steps, and another gap, and once again you sense the space either side of you expand into a deeper, darker place. The emptiness swallows your breath. You might have begun to see the colour green. You know this is a protective and nurturing place. There's more wall now as you walk forward, another 3 steps, and ahead the quality of the sound has changed and the space has grown. There's more headroom. The space is too broad for you to touch with outstretched arms. 2 more steps, and in front of you you can feel the rear of the stone cave. This is your destination. You'll rest here a while. If you wish, you can stand to lean your forehead against the damp surface of the stone. You can almost feel the water running down it. With a change in humidity, it feels much more enclosed here, but it feels safe. You might sense green, you might sense purple, you might sense an intense turquoise or pale sky blue. All of those colours are appropriate at this place. You could remove your shoes and socks and lie down with your bare feet touching the stone. You could sit with your back supported by it, or lie with your feet to the entrance, pointing to the light, and the crown of your head resting near the central stone. You know that this is a place of healing. You know that this is a place of connection and of memory and of projection. Past, present, future, all together, all at one time, one place, one moment, one heartbeat. You know there's a continuation into the future and into the distant past of people who've been here in this place and felt this land pulsing beneath their feet. As you sound your voice now, know they've done the same to call you into existence in their minds. As you sound your voice and send love and compassion to all your ancestors, recent and distant, recall their acts acknowledging your mutual ancestors. Know their purpose of life and yours are the same. The paths you tread are the same. The awe for the beauty of life the same. The unconditional love you have for your kin the same. Our sounds are the same. As you sound your voice, call back down the years in greeting and in acknowledgement of those who've gone before. If, as you use your voice, any ancestors or guides come to you or come closer, just bid them welcome with an open heart and thank them for the part they've played in your history. If you get the chance, you may wish to ask what their lineage has gifted to you in this life. If you wish, you can pause and you can sound an om, or you can sound ah, and either focus on the energy coming out of your heart or coming out of your third eye, your brow chakra. If, as you use your voice, any ancestors or guides come to you or come closer, just bid them welcome. I know when I do that and I experience sending energy out through my heart, I see the colour green, I feel the colour green in me, I send out green light. As you rest in the dark, you sense the strength of the stone supporting you. As you sound, you notice the cave expand with each successive breath in the inky blackness. You sense yourself floating on an infinite warm sea beneath a starry sky. You're aware of the companions who came with you up the hill. You recognise their essence. The stone that's behind you rises out of the water and takes the shape of a great face. It floats easily, somewhat like a massive iceberg. With each breath, more of the cave becomes less solid, dissolving, mist-like, leaving you on this warm, shallow ocean. Only the ancestral face remains. It's now transparent, wispy, sea fog, drifting off to the horizon. sense you could easily pass through and merge inside the physical material substance of this place. Your guides are showing you the magic of the universal oneness of all that is. There's no difference between the vast night sky and the space between each atom of the rock. You know you can float in all the infinite space. The sea beneath you is a spirit body. You and your ancestors are one and the same. Your soul, their souls, can be in the same place. The infinite space within every atom, the infinite vastness of the universe, the unfathomable depths of time itself. Meet your ancestors, merge with them, ask them questions you have. What do you learn from them? What do you need to know from them? Just to know they exist is amazing. As the drum changes rhythm, become aware the sea is no longer moving your body. You once again sense the solid ground and the small cave around you. The transparency of the rock has altered back. The veil is closing again. With each breath, you're more and more aware of the confines of this small, dark room. With each breath, you sense your companions moving further and further away from you. But you know you will spend time with them again. and you can call on them whenever you wish. Now it seems not so dark as the darkest night here. Your eyes are used to the dark, but you can see the bright rectangle of the doorway, the daylight at the end of the tunnel. You can hear yourself breathing, and you notice the air moving over your lip and in your mouth and your nostrils. And you sense, at last, once more, you are alone. You lie still in the dark, recalling the amazing support of your ancestral sea and the vastness of time you experienced. Sounds of people's voices talking carry from the outside. You can hear chatter, you can hear children playing. It sounds like a summer's day. Without any need to hurry, you bring yourself out of your reverie, past each of the 4 side chambers and out into the summer daylight. The swallow swoops out from the long barrow behind you and speeds down the hill to skim for insects along the brookside. For a few seconds, you take in the total view of this ancient valley, the striking white pathways that cut the green grass, the spring and the rounded copses, the distant village and the downland hills around, the sacred sites that you can see all around this valley. As the gaggle of people move off, making their way downhill, you fall into step along with them. You may recognise some, and they may all be strangers, but they're all moving downhill back to the road and towards the village. You sense the power of the land to hold and to call people together. And you're grateful for this. You know that people down the ages have experienced what you've just felt in the same place. You know you'll never be quite the same again. You walk briskly downhill, and a nod to the guardian oak tree at the side of the bridge, and a glance at the spring away in the corner of the field to your left. Another few moments, maybe silent, maybe passing the day with someone, aware of the sense of summer, the sounds of the insects, the birds, and the smells, and getting closer, the sounds of passing traffic on what was an empty road when you left. Gradually, bring yourself back to the present moment and the present place. More quickly now, more aware of your own breathing and the sounds of others around you. You can start to be conscious of the room that you're in now. You stretch your toes and your fingers, wiggle your shoulders, stretch and relax your legs. And slowly start to sit up whenever you can. You may need to grab a drink. You may need to stand up and move around. But I suggest you sit quietly for a few minutes. Just think about where you've been, who you've met, whether you managed to ask questions, whether you managed to recognise entities and spirits. But you know you can do this again. You can do similar things. You can go to places of imagination, places that you know in reality, places that you know are safe in your imagination. You can conjure up wonderful pictures, wonderful bridges to the spirit world, to the past and to the future. If you have a journal, write down some of the things, some of your observations, some of your feelings and sensations. If you have someone that you've done this with, maybe share what you felt. Discuss the process. discuss the learning. If you go over it again in your imagination, if you go over it again in your memory, it will embed the experiences. It will help to strengthen those connections. It will help to make it easier next time you want to connect with those particular entities, those particular guides and teachers. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the process.